Hello and welcome to the 20th part of our Dominion 6 guide for new players. Wow, this has gotten long, hasn't it? In this part we're going to continue our fight against Bandar Log and probably go through a couple of sieges and see how we do in this war, and hopefully Abyssia doesn't keep sending assassins after us. So we went through the messages at the end of the last episode, and as we can see, things are progressing rather well when it comes to our conquest in Bandar Log. We have a lot of forces in the area. We're currently sieging down their capital, we're sieging down their other fort. They shouldn't really be able to recruit any more troops in order to fight us, so things are going pretty well. As it comes to Bethine, Bethine has been breached. We can see this from the little red fortification symbol here. That means that we can now storm the castle should we wish. I don't think we're going to do it this turn. If we have a little look at our force here, our force is fairly ragtag, and I don't know how well we'll be able to do without proper mage support in actually taking the castle. We don't know how many defenders are inside, so we'll have to shore them up. To do that, we've got pawns coming in from Barney. He's got a bunch of earth gems that we're going to give out to our master smiths, who are probably going to sit at the front line and cast a bunch of earth elementals while our troops wait. We'll also send up Hildegard and Tow up into Barney here. I don't believe anybody else can make the full trip to Bethine. Oh no, they can. So we could actually send up a lot of the mages to head straight to Bethine, just so that we can get a lot of mage support. We can spread our earth gems around. We can summon a bunch of elementals. We have Almaric, who has a lot of fire gems. He's got his fire in a jar. He'll be able to really help us as well in casting down some spells on the defenders. So with that mage support, we might be able to take the province. We'll just have to have a little bit of a check next turn. Let's start cycling through our commanders. So we have a mounted commander here who's currently just picking up some troops around Droigar and the Shadowglade. We have Shan here, who's leading a ragtag group into Bandar Log's territory. We're going to get him to continue going down. I think he should be able to deal with most province defense by himself. We have a bunch of reinforcing troops coming from Phoenicia, which should arrive soon. That's a lot of archers, a lot of slingers. If we can get flaming arrows or something like that out, which I don't think we have the research for. If we double check our research, yeah, we're getting evocation 2 turns. I'm kind of tempted to delay our siege for 2 turns then, just so we can get evocation 6. But we'll see how we do when it comes to research once we hand out all of our quills. As it comes for our troops here, Adelaide obviously has his large force that he's just kind of going around with just now. We're going to use that to just kind of cut out a lot of the defending troops. What we might actually do is we might grab these infantry and we'll get them on Clodmere. They're no longer going to be in a line, which is a little bit of a shame. But he'll be able to lead them all right. We'll also get these sappers. We'll put them on Roland. And then we'll have Adelaide go around by himself. I think these mages, with enough of these troops here, which we may split up a little bit, just so we can give them a little bit more of a spread formation. You can see here that our priest-smiths aren't very good leaders. They do give a negative to morale when leading squads. I think we should be alright against province defense. It means that we have a more spread out front line, seeing as we can't use line formations with our poorer commanders. So let's make sure that we have all of our troops either near or behind all of our infantry, and we'll get them to go to the Range of Shadow, and we'll get Adelaide by himself to go to the Copper Canyons. He is one of our Black Lords. He's also very lucky. He should be able to completely wipe out province defense with no problems asked. Let's have another look. So Ursnek is over here. He's just claimed the throne of Pestilence, and he's also searched. Bethine does have our Dominion in... Oh no, it doesn't have our Dominion in place here. I thought it did. It's my mistake. I didn't read the map correctly. However, it's only enemy Dominion 3. If we can move Ursnek through to Bethine, then we'll be able to use him to try and help us take it over, which I think would be worth it. Let's keep cycling through our commanders. So we have another spy here. We'll send him up towards the Great Woods. We have Arnulf, who we're going to give one of our boots to, as well as a Girdle of Might. And we don't really have any astral gems for him to use, so we'll give him a couple of earth gems. Give him 5, and he'll also make his way over to Bethine. We'll send him to the Spring Spires and then down to Bethine, and he should hopefully be able to help us out a little bit. We'll do the same with Alfred. We're just wanting to really move our mages around as much as we can, just so we can use them to help out. We have our new Necromancer as well. Let's get him to not to research, sorry, to search for sites. And we have Theodoric, who does have an owl quill. I think he's all right for now. Yeah, we'll get our necromancer to search for sites. He'll try and find us some death gems that we can potentially use later down the line. We've already got +5, so it could always be useful to have some more. As far as everybody else goes, let's hand out a couple of quills. We have Balthazar here. He's stopped forging for the moment. Is there anything else we can get him to do? Something useful he could make? Could get him to make more girdles. We'll get him to make some earth boots. For just now, we might as well use some of those earth gems. And over here, for Thorismund, we'll get him to make one more crusher, and then he's going to head up with those troops towards Bandar Log. I think the 3 should be good enough. We have another scout. I think we're actually going to start sending him down into Summer Edge and underneath, just so we can get more information on Agartha. And Tygos has a couple of troops here. We'll get him to pick up the crossbowmen. As you can see, these crushers cannot be in the same squad as mindful troops, because they are mindless. And they also need to be leaded by a mage, so we wouldn't get any use out of them there. We'll get Tygos to start moving towards Bandar Log. We'll get Tarbar with his slingers and his other generic troops to start heading over to Bandar Log as well. I'm just going to double check and see if there isn't anything useful here that we can recruit. Doesn't seem like it. Seems like fairly generic and bad troops to me. But that's absolutely fine. We don't have much of a treasury left, unfortunately. But I still think we'll be okay. We're going to send the scout further down to Rid. We'll get Celestius. He could grab some more fire gems. He's going to do that, and he's going to start heading over towards Bandar Log, so we can start shoring up our mages there with a few additional gems. And as for our unpronounceable Lizard Shaman, he's going to keep on site searching for us. As well as these druids, they're just going to keep site searching. Oh, we found a laboratory in the Oaklands, so we could start getting Jaguar Tribe priests if we really wanted to. I don't really see much of a reason to do that, to be quite honest. Thorismund's still alive, that's good. Barney's going to pick up, Boone is going to pick up a bunch of slingers, and he's going to start heading towards Halbreatha. We'll be able to decide where we want to send him after that. Other than that, we're just going to keep on searching, so that's a search everywhere here. We'll head Gunderic back to the Land Pristine. For just now, we'll hand out another quill to Conrad, so he can keep researching for us. We have some more free smiths. We'll send them over towards Felden Forest, so they can go down into the undergrowth next turn. As for Zanero, we'll get him to come over here, and we'll recruit more of these slingers, just so he can pick them up and bring them over. And then we have our troops down here in the underground. So we're going to get these guys to come back over towards the hole. We've got a fair number of troops here. We're using some of our supplies. We're using about half our supplies down here, but that's absolutely fine. And we're going to get everybody who can to research, and then we're going to get them to preach. The reason we're doing that is we want to try and push back some of this Dominion as much as we can, just to get rid of those death scales and the heat scales in case Abyssia decides to go hot. We'll get another Berkshire champion here. We're going to move him over to the chambers underneath, and then we're going to use some of those troglodytes to guard him, just so he's not as at risk from the Abyssians. We're going to get Hanif and Anik as well to make more of these bags of endless wine. I wonder if there's anybody we can move around. Probably one of these scouts here. Yeah, we'll load him up with both these bags of endless wine. These don't stack, so if you give 2 of the same item to the same commander, they don't stack together. However, we'll get him to start moving towards Bandar Log. He'll be able to use that so that when we have our whole force there, we have the supplies to properly siege the fortress. As it stands, Gunderic's going to stay there in the hole. He's not going to move. We're having him on backup. We're going to get Ruprik to just hold there for a moment, and we'll start recruiting another Master Smith just for this turn. We're getting a bunch more infantry. He can stay there, wait for Priest Smith support, and then come back. And with that, that is all of our commander actions done. That's excellent. As far as recruitment goes, we really don't have that much gold left. In fact, what we may do is we may say to Ruptrick, right, leave these guys here, head over onto Ulm and start bringing those troops back. And that should be us all good to go. Let's have a quick check of our researchers, so we give out our last quill. As far as our research goes, we're still not going to get Evocation next turn, but we will the next again. Evocation 6 will be a massive boon for us, and we'll just have to see how we go from there. After that, we're getting Conjuration level 4 and 5. We'll probably need larger elementals to take Bandar Log, depends on the number of people that are there. In fact, what we may do, just so we can get a little bit an example is we're going to get Gundrick here. We're going to tell him to retreat, stand right at the back, and he's actually going to storm this castle by himself. He's going to give us a good indication of what the defenders are like. He's going to retreat. Hopefully he retreats to a friendly province, otherwise he's going to die, but we'll just have to see how that goes. So we've done all of our actions, we've done our research, we'll double check our recruitment, make sure that we're using everybody. We have another 82 guys here. We really need to start sending over some more commanders to go and pick those guys up, which we will do. And other than that, things are all looking pretty good. We've already got a bunch of commanders, a bunch more ranged troops coming down into Bethine. Yeah, I'm quite happy with how things are going. I think we're going to end this turn here. We don't have much gold left. We're using pretty much all of our gems other than our nature gems. I'm just wondering if there's anything else we can cast with these guys, actually. Nothing really useful. We could summon wolves, but I don't really see the point in that. I think they're better off just forging these endless bags of wine. At least for the moment. We'll probably have to give them out to fight down in Abyssia as well, given Abyssia's dominion appears to be pretty death and heat focused. We're not going to have many supplies down here. In the Crystal Caves, not that there's very many or that much population over here. Anyway, it's mostly centered around up here. So yeah, we definitely can't recruit any commanders from the chambers underneath, unfortunately, so this will have to do for now. Right, I think with that, we're good to go for this turn. Okay, so at the end of that, we searched for a bunch of magical sites, we didn't find anything. There was a battle at Rid. So this is our little ragtag force against the province defense. We should hopefully be okay. We have a couple of infantry of our lizard warriors will be able to chew through these independent defenders. And I'm not too worried about these monkeys either. Yep, we seem to have done pretty well, and they have routed. Fantastic. We will have taken a couple of casualties there. Yeah, we took one of each. But that's absolutely fine. I think we can deal with that. There's a battle in the range of Shadow. This is us attacking with our mage force, with a couple of undisciplined boys. A couple of barbarians, Bakemono, and with the crossbow bolts, the barbarians have already fled. Fantastic. I'm not even sure if we took any casualties there. We didn't. We did come in quite a big force with the Bakemono shows as well, but just want to make sure we take that. Here we have our Black Lord, who is once again charging against the province defense. I don't foresee this being a problem at all. Here they go, they're charging around. Just going to go straight for their commanders. If they can take them out, that'd be perfect, but it looks like they're going to rout beforehand anyway. Indeed they have. Fantastic. Good job, boys. Yep. We also managed to raise an enemy temple. So remember, whenever you take a province with a temple, if it's an enemy temple, it will be automatically raised. So you have to be very careful about where you put your temple. That's a pretty good swing of gold for us. It means that they've lost a little bit of their infrastructure. There was, however, a battle in the Mudwater Caves. This looks like Abyssia coming out with a bunch of lava warriors, their sacred troops, and a bunch of human breads. So out of the two of them, the scary ones are going to be these the lava warriors over here. They also have a spine devil, which they have seemed to have summoned as well, and one demonkin. Fiend of Darkness, sorry. So they've got a couple of demons with them. They've completely destroyed our province defense. It wasn't even close. It was never going to be close. Yeah, we just had the one guy as part of our defense force, but never mind. Okay, so there was a battle at the Fortress of Bethine. Let's have a little look at the enemy army. This is a really good idea that you can do if you have scouts in the area. Just get them to attack the fortification that you're currently attacking, and you'll get a good idea of the defenders. You know what? This is a really lightly defended fort. They really just don't have very many troops inside here. We can almost certainly take this next turn. Let's have a quick look at the actual numbers. A bunch of Marcatas, a couple of white ones, and other than that, it's mostly just Bandar. Yeah, we don't actually even need to have much mage support there. I think we can just win that pretty easily. There was an unexpected event in Rick Balcour. We lost some Dominion. We found a little bit of gold in Underhome. Fantastic. And we got some luck and additional gold and glistening wood. Some more stuff happening in Summer Edge. Our citadel is finished in the Forest of Gila. And we've started to destroy the fort in Bandar Log. We haven't quite managed to fix it yet. Okay, so I think that's a good... I think that's been quite a good turn for us. So let's have a little look at the guys who are currently in the siege. This is a lot of mage support, far more mage support than we need for the amount of defenders that are there. Hildegard and co are going to head up towards Bandar Log. Ursnek, he's just kind of chilling. We'll just get him to search for our sites. We don't really want to use him directly in a fight. And he won't be able to get there in time to help them storm the castle, unfortunately. As for our other mages, we're also going to get them, and our scout here with his bags of endless wine, he's going to head over to Bandar Log with them. We'll start using them to start spreading out some of our Good stuff. For the guys who can, seeing as they're not actually using any troops, we're going to get them to preach. Just so we can try and get rid of this enemy dominion as much as we can. The more we get this down, the more likely we can actually bring Ursnek to bear in Bandar Log. And in that case, given that we're doing that, we'll actually start sending up Ursnek as well, at least so he's in the area. We don't know when their god's going to come back alive, but it could be very shortly. We're looking at that. We're currently at turn 29, so their gods could start appearing from turn 30 onwards if they are imprisoned. If they've just got a weak god and terrible scales, well, that's just AI things. You can't really do anything about that. As for our mages, we're going to get them sending back over towards Bandar Log. Our Bakemono are going to probably head on down. I think Shan's just going to come with his forces to Bethine, just in case we fail this siege. And we're going to keep sending our scouts over towards Bandar Log as well. Adelaide's going to take the Great Woods, and we're going to come back to Bandar Log. We'll have absolutely surrounded them. This has been a pretty cakewalk of a war against Bandar Log, it must be said. But it's always nice when things go well. As far as searching goes, we've pretty much searched everywhere here. We'll just make sure that we're doing things proper. We'll get Gunderic to start making more of these slave matrices. He must run out of gems in order to make them. Get a couple more of these quills. And then other than that, we're going to get Thorismund. We're going to give him a Girdle of Might. And we'll probably give him another endless bag of wine and the Boots of Long Strides. And we're going to send him up over to Bandar Log as well, but with some friends. We're going to have these three guys here. They're going to come up with him. We'll sort out his actual battle tactics later, just when we get a second, and we're going to send out our necromancers to try and have a little more of a search for sites, and we have another astral. Fantastic. Let's give him another Boot of Longstride. These Boots of Longstride are really useful. They're nature 1, so it's very easy to make. We'll actually give them to Adelaide so you can get up there even faster as well. They're only nature 1 to make, so a lot of these independent mages, these shamans and such, they're usually nature 1. They only cost 5 nature gems. Really cheap to make, really easy to make, and it can really help your commanders get around, especially if you're a human-sized nation like we are as Ulm. We're going to send our guys over the Lamperstein. We're going to pick up as many of these Hoburg crossbows as we can. These guys will be useful against Abyssia. They're not going to have the best precision. I'm hoping with just enough numbers, we should be alright. As far as Grimald and Clovis go, we're actually going to get them to hold here. Given Abyssia has just taken the Mudwater Caves, I imagine they're going to come into Mile Deep soon. So I would rather keep these guys safe rather than send them into their potential death. We'll keep on preaching here. We just want to try and get our Dominion as much as possible. We've managed to get our Berkshire champion. He's going to head to the chambers underneath, continue building that fort. Fortunately, the assassin hasn't tried to take on our small force of troglodytes. You can see we have 10 now. That's quite fortunate. As far as our druid guy goes, we'll get him to start sneaking towards the hole. Maybe there's something he can make over there. And for our other druids, let's see if there's anything else we can make. Horn of Valor, that's also a really nice miscellaneous item. Inspirational +1 will mean that all your squads get +1 more morale. We'll just get that so we can start giving that out to some of our commanders. Be really useful when we're fighting underground, and we're going to be taking quite a bit of losses, make it so that people are less likely to run away. Grab more of these crosswomen, we'll head them up to Elklin, we'll dump them out over there. How are we doing here for troops? We have a lot of troops here. That's pretty good. What we'll do is we will get another commander of Ulm, and we can potentially send them down through Summer Edge and down into Abyssia. And then we have some more our priestsmiths there carrying a few troops. What we'll do is we'll give a bag of endless wine and Girdle of Might to Erkborn, another Girdle of Might to this guy, and we'll also give him a fire in a jar so he can give it to somebody else. As far as gems we have to pass out, we don't have many earth gems, we don't have many fire gems, we're using quite a lot of them. So we'll just get them to start moving. They're bringing with them a couple of troops each. They can't really hold that many, but at least it's something. And then Albrecht should hopefully be able to make it to Bandar Log next turn. As for Trigos, we'll get them to continue on towards Bandar Log. We've got our Bakemono here. We'll just use them for their siege strength. They're not very strong, but we have quite a few of them. Gunderic did survive. Fantastic. We're going to send him up towards Bandar Log himself. As for these troops, I don't see the reason to get them to Bethine. So let's send them up to Bandar Log for our big siege. And we will continue to pick up more of our forces and congregate them near Bandar Log. And we'll make sure we're continuing our site searching. For everybody who can't preach, we're going to research them preach. There we go. Let's try and see if we can hand out any more quills. Even though Lothar isn't going to be a permanent researcher, we might as well do it just now, just because they're here. So this should definitely get us, yes, so we're going to get evocation level 6. We're also going to get conjuration level 4 in a single turn, and then we'll work on conjuration 5. That will really help us in Bandar Log. And with that, we still have Balthazar. He can't really forge anything else, can he? Could forge a Helm of Heroes. This is another good inspirational item. Yeah, we're going to do that just so we can get more inspirational for our troops. We can get it on Urs, we can get it on Gunderic, just so they can really lead their men very well. We're going to have to be taking a lot of morale checks against these Abyssian forces. They're pretty scary. We can see they've also upgraded their fortification here in the Glowing Caverns, but we should have an easy access time to cut them off from Abyssia if we could take the Cavern Realms, which we might want to start sending our Bakemono to. Yeah, let's start sending our Bakemono over to the Cavern Realm. Like so. We don't have any more Bakemonos anywhere, do we? Here you're building a fortress, but you can come over here. Yeah, you can come over here and we'll get one of our commanders who are just sitting there to continue the fort construction. Excellent. Alright, and with that, that is all of our actions done, other than our siege. We'll come onto our siege in a second. We're going to start site searching some more. We want to make sure we're getting a couple more troops everywhere we can. Yeah, Ulm's getting a bunch of troops. We'll get Arnulf, he'll carry a few and get them over to Felden Forest. We're recruiting as much as we can from the whole. Let's get another auxiliary force of Bakemono. They'll come out next turn. We'll be able to send them over. Enough Bakemono should hopefully be able to take out any province defense they have over here in the Cavern Realm, and if they do, it will nearly completely cut them off. If we can take out the Cavern Realm and the Chiliad Caverns when we start our march, then they won't be getting any income from this bit since we take this fortification. Harder for them to send reinforcements, and we'll be able to sleuth off into the night after it happens. Still have a bunch of gold. We're spending it on pretty much as we can. Let's see if there's any more troops here that we can grab. There's a few. And can any of our commanders hold it? Yes, our Holberg can, so he'll grab these guys here. Not the most troops, but I mean, that many slingers, that many crossbowmen, that'll really help us against Bandar Log there. Otherwise, we can always just send them down underneath. As far as gold goes, I think we're okay for recruitment. I can't really see us wanting to recruit anything else, nor do we need to build any more infrastructure. So I think we're okay for now. There's no mercenaries available for us to take, and as far as our research goes, Evocation 6 will come next turn, then Conjuration 4 will come again next turn, and then we'll get Conjuration 5 after that, and we'll be good to go. So now we come on to this question, which is going to be our siege. Now, there's not many forces here, so let's have a little quick check of our commanders here, the guys who are actually holding troops. So first things first, we're going to get Audrey, who potentially stay out of the fight. We might give him the gems that we have, and let him take them over to Bandar Log. I'm not sure we're really going to need that many. As it comes for Almaric, yeah, Almaric is already Fire 2. He has a Fire and a Jar. He's going to cast Phoenix Pyre. Summon Earth Pyre, Phoenix Pyre, and we can get him to start casting Falling Fires, which he's going to be a high enough level to do. It's going to slightly fatigue him, but it has a decent range. We'll probably start moving him up as well, just so he's more in the front line, but we'll give all of his fire gems over to Audrey, like so. So to give gems, you can select your commander here. Select who you want to give it to. You can left click to gain a gem from them. You can right click to remove a gem from yourself. Shift is 5 for both of the clicks. You can left click here so you can select another one. So for pawns, we're going to get him to give away 5 gems. So Audrey is going to break off. He's going to start heading to Bandar Log, which you can get to next turn. Fantastic. Pawns, what can we get you to do? So you have 5 earth gems. We're going to get you to summon Earth Power, and we're probably going to get you to cast... Is there anything in particular use that you could do? You could summon a bunch of Earth Elementals, but I'm not sure how much is useful. Don't really see the point in casting Earthquake. In fact, he can't even do it because he's only Earth level 2, you become Earth level 3, so you can only use 3 gems to cast, so you'd use 1. Yeah, so you have 2 left over, you wouldn't be able to cast that. So in reality, we don't have the alteration for things like Maws of the Earth, which is a bit of a shame. So I guess what we'll get him to do is we'll get him to cast some Earth Elemental, we'll get him to conserve his magical gem usage as much as possible, we'll move him up. And then as far as everybody else goes, Let's maybe actually just separate these gems out a little bit. We'll give some to Clodimir. We'll give some to Ekborn, like so. And we'll get them to both also cast Summon Earth Elemental just once, just so we have a little bit of an extra force here to take the siege. As far as the actual troops go, we're going to want our barbarians right up the front, probably followed by our undisciplined troops. We'll put them slightly to the side, they'll hopefully take some archer fire. We're going to have our lizards behind our barbarians just because they do high damage. And then we're going to have our meteorite guard, because we don't really care about them. They've got decent enough protection, they should be fine against the arrows. And then for our cavalry, we're going to have an interesting thing, and they won't really be able to flank. So we're actually going to get Frithegern to just stay behind his troops here. We're going to get these guys to hold, attack the closest enemy rather than the rear. Our infantry are there. We're also going to move our archer line up just to make sure that they're definitely going to be in range of the walls. Like so. And we'll make sure as well Amalek is far enough ahead. We're going to move up our priestsmiths as well, just purely because we want to make sure that they're able to fire on the walls. And we have a lot of magical support here. Fantastic. Yep. This is going to be more than enough to take what we need. And on top of that, what we're also going to do is we're going to get our archers to fire at their archers for some of them. We want to try and take them off the wall. Get them all to fire at archers. They'll target the guys up on the wall. And we'll just start raining down arrow fire onto them. We'll come back and we'll change all these formations out again next turn. It's just a good idea. When you're with a siege, the main thing to remember is you're going to be funneled into a very, very small area. So we might actually get these knights to come here just so they attack straight forward. You're going to be funneled into a small area. We don't have the troops that we need to necessarily worry about it, but there will be times where your troops are at the walls and they will try and almost like path up to the walls and then come into the gate. That shouldn't be an issue for us. We've got everybody in a sort of boxy formation. They're all just going to hold, well, the barbarians aren't, but the rest of them are going to hold and then just charge forward into the hole in the wall. Hopefully they'll take out a few of them. There's not enough troops for me to be really that concerned about how much losses we're going to take. So I think overall we are fine. And yeah, with that, I think we're good to go to the next turn. So let's do it. Evocation completed, conjuration completed. We've searched for a bunch of magical sites. We haven't seen them. Permaball was the victim of an assassination attempt. Who was this? Was this our commander again? He's actually outside. It was our commander again. And he died. That's a shame. Nothing we can do there. Yeah, he just went outside during the night and there's already an assassin there waiting for him. There was a battle in Milldeep, as we expected. Good job we didn't move our priestsmiths down there. And here comes Abyssia against our small force of cavemen. They'll do okay. I think they killed one or two. Nothing to really write home about. Yeah, we can manage to kill two of them, but they just immediately died. These lava warriors really do a lot of damage with their high strength and their heat power. There was a battle in the Great Woods, where we managed to attack Bandar Log with our horsemen. They're going to come in here, kill the commander, and with that they've routed. Fantastic. And I've noticed from this that we never actually sieged, or stormed, sorry, Bethine. That's my bad. Hooray, we've turned into a three-parter this episode. Lucky you. If only I could make the same mistake so many times, eh? So let's have a look. Now that we have actually started to... and the Throne of Night has just happened as well. Fantastic. So let's get all these guys. We're going to get them to storm the castle. They're all going to storm this coming turn. And get Boone start heading up towards Bandar Log, as well as these Bakemono. We've completely surrounded Bandar Log. I'm really not that worried about them anymore. They are going to be there. Oh, a slave market. Fantastic. That produces us 3 blood slaves a turn. So, when's the time to get into blood magic? It's now. We'll continue our searching. Everybody else here is sieging down Bandar Log. We have a bunch more supplies, as we can see here, thanks to our bags of endless wine. We'll actually pass one of them out to somebody else. Fantastic. Bunch more of our troops coming up. We can get Adelaide and his troops as well to head back to Bandar Log. And our scouts are kind of sitting around doing nothing at the moment, so what we'll do is we'll start sending them down into the caves. Now that the Bandar Log threat has been pretty much taken care of, I'm not feeling too bad about that. These guys are going to take a little bit longer to get towards Bandar Log. These guys will get there next turn. Fantastic. And we'll get more of our spies out of the way. Yep, keep them going. These guys here are also going to start heading towards Bandar Log. We have a lot of troops concentrating here, which is going to be really good for us. Obviously, Abyssia is starting to attack us down in the depths, but I'm not that worried about that. I think we should be able to take them out. We'll have to do some scripting here. We'll keep our Bakemono moving over towards the Cavern Realm. We'll dodge that fortification. We'll take those out when we get the chance. Now, the big question is, what do we do about this Abyssian threat? So we have all of our mages here. Let's take off these quills from our guys here, because we're going to be wanting to use them to help us. Big thing that we're going to be wanting to do is we're going to be wanting to change the Iron Dart skill for Iron Blizzard. Now, Iron Blizzard is going to do a massive boost to our damage. It does cost more fatigue, but it only requires Earth level 1, so we will be taking a third of the fatigue stated here if we cast Summon Earth Power with our Priestsmiths. That'll really help us. We also get 2 for every extra level the caster is, so we get 24 shots of decent damage, armor piercing, a little bit of extra precision. Will be nice seeing as we're doing this in the darkness, whether we're above or below ground. So we'll get these guys to start casting Iron Blizzard. And with that, we'll save that and we'll start passing that out to the rest of our Priestsmiths, just so they know what to do as well. All of a sudden, we're going to be having lots of shots flying out over the battlefield, so that'll be fun to watch. As it comes for our troops, we're going to get them into 2 double lines here. We just want to make sure that we're holding as much of the land as we can in front of our troops as possible. We'll get Ernst to stay behind. We're going to give him the Helmet of Heroes and also one of these Horns of Valor. We can see here he now gives +4 morale to this squad. So this squad is going to be pretty decent in terms of their morale. They usually would be 10. We're in hostile dominion, so it's -1. We're not going to be in a home province, so we're not going to get that +1. So instead we're going to be at 13 morale, but that 13 morale is so much better than 10. Especially once they start taking some casualties. Yeah, let's get Ernst in with these guys. We'll get Gunderic along with Witteric, like so. And we should be ready. Gunderic as well, we can give him another Horn of Valor, so he can start helping out as well. Okay, so let's have a little think about what we can do. There's no point bringing fire magic against the Abyssians. We're not even going to bother. We could potentially think about a couple of earth spells. Let's have a little quick look and see what we got. Conjuration, there won't be really anything that we can use in combat. Unfortunately, no. Necessary magic against Abyssians, huh? Don't make me laugh. But we'll finish up Conjuration 5 this turn, and then next turn we will be getting Alteration 4, most likely. So let's start sending our troops towards Maldeep. Let's see who's up here in Felden Forest. We have another Astral. This is a good chance to check whether or not we can cast Gifts from Heaven underneath. Yeah, cannot be cast in caves. Could have told you that. But that's absolutely fine. We do also have Magma Eruption, which does do bludgeoning damage. That could be a good idea. That will actually probably quite help us when it comes to underneath. Good to know. Alright, let's grab our Priestsmiths. We don't have a commander here for them to bring along troops, so instead we're going to get them to hold their own troops. And we're actually going to get these guys to sit at the back and attack the closest. Just in case something's flying around going for our commanders, these guys will take the brunt of the pain instead. And we're going to get Donner here. We're going to get a couple of guys to guard him. And the rest of the guys will also set up just behind the commanders, and they will also hold and attack the closest, but we'll set them up further behind in case they run into our commanders. So the 3 of them here for Donner, we're going to give him a Fire in a Jar. That'll be very useful, and we'll script them up. So for him, he's going to cast Summon Earth Power. And then we're going to cast Phoenix Power using that extra gem that we get from the Fire in a Jar. And then after that, we can start casting Magma Eruption. And that'll be quite useful. So we'll do that a bunch of times. And we'll probably save this script because we'll probably use it later. As for our priests, you know what's happening. We're going to use them just to try and cut down as much of the Abyssians as we can. We'll get them to start moving into the underground as well. From the hole, we do have Hilderic as well. So Hilderic is going to also grab another Fire in a Jar. And he's also going to copy that script. Yeah, the reason I'm doing this is because Abyssia hits so hard and our troops are going to be so bad. I really don't see the point in buffing them that much. We might as well try and kill as many as we can with mages. The fact that this does bludgeoning damage as well is going to help us a lot. With Tulka, we're going to give him another fire in a jar. And we'll probably give one of these guys a Girl of Might. We might as well. Yep, so he's casting that. We'll get him to cast that as well. We'll get a little bit of buffing from Lothar. We'll get him up here. He'll just do a little bit of buffing. That's absolutely fine. Might as well buff a few guys. I just don't really want to use that to rely on it. I'd rather use my powerful evocation magic to attack in Mill Deep. Let's just double check our formation so we can spread out our troops a little bit more, as well as our mages. Yep, get Gunderic to stand there. We'll move a little bit further up. Our guys with Magma Eruption. There we go. All good there. We'll get him to move up as well. Okay, this should be a pretty climactic battle. This seems like a lot of Agarthans. Not Agarthans, sorry, Abyssians. But we should be able to deal with them. We'll get our Bakemono over through Underhome and up through there. We're actually out of money for the first time in a long time. You can see our income has gone down quite a lot. That's because of the Throw in the Night. Everything's been thrown into darkness. No pun intended. So our income has gone down quite a lot throughout all of the provinces. Okay, as far as Grimald goes, we'll get him to grab a bunch of earth gems, and we're going to get him to head up towards Bandar Log. Adelaide, I'm afraid that you're going to be absolutely no use here in Eldlin. So you'll just have to stay as is. And Walther will get you to move out to Site Search. We'll pick up as many of these Hoburgs as we can. And we'll probably actually start sending these guys through Summer Edge and down into the depths of the underworld. We didn't find any sites here, that's a shame. Still haven't found any sites here. We'll move over to the chambers underneath with this guy here. And as for all of these guys here, we'll get him back to forging quills. That was a mistake on my part, like so. Balthazar, we're going to get you to actually make more of those Helmets of Heroes. They'll be really useful. We might as well try and buff up as many of our normal troops as we possibly can. And we'll start passing out a few more quills. Like so. Okay, we still have a couple of quills left. Do we have anybody else that we can give it to? Yep, we have a bunch of guys here. Fantastic. We have a whole bunch of Master Smiths now. All researching, all massively improving what access to spells we have. Tolkien Carmen, you're going to move over. Ruprick, you're going to grab all these troops. You're also going to start heading over to Felden Forest. Surely we have one more guy. There we are. To give another quill to. Fantastic. Okay, and with that, we've given out all of our quills. We have absolutely no money to spend, unfortunately. As far as our research goes, again, we're getting Conjuration 5 this turn. So Conjuration 5 this turn, Alteration 4 next turn, Alteration 5 the next again. Same with Enchantment. We're really going to start tearing through the research now that we have this Mage Corps backing us up. These troops here we're going to grab with Manan, and we're going to send them down through the Forest of Gila. We'll do the same with Arnold. He will head over to Felden Forest as well. Let's have a little look and see what we're getting here. Yeah, we're going to recruit another commander. He can pick up the rest of the guys from Ulm 2. Make sure that we are going through everybody. Let's just send our scout down here just so we can see who's here in Bandar Log. And with that, that's us done. So let's double check this time that we 100% have stormed the castle. We have. That was very close. Lothar nearly lost his last moment of action. That would have been a very big shame. Okay, with that, we're going to have two big battles next turn. Well, Bethine's not going to be a big battle, but it's going to be our first siege battle. So we'll be able to talk about that then. Let's go. Alright, so we've completed the research and conjuration. We found a burial mound, that's a death site in the Silver Woods. We found a painted cave, that sounds like an astral site. And no other things. There was a battle in Mile Deep, this is going to be a big one. So this is our line of troops here in the formation against the Abyssian troops coming at us, as well as their province defense. Our mages are here, we're ready to clash. And soon, we've got the buffs, we've got the Phoenix power, our troops are coming out. The Iron Blizzards should start arriving soon. Here come the Iron Blizzards, firing out, tearing through that Abyssian line. Cavemen already running, taking huge casualties against these burning ones. As we can see, a couple of our men being set on fire. So this heat aura that they have a heat aura of 3. so it's going to be far more intense because they're in heat, and also goes out 3 squares from them. So all of our guys here, you can see you've got quite a fair bit of fatigue. The guys at the back, they're not even swinging, they've still got 8 fatigue. That's a combination of it being hot and also being in this heat aura. It's going to be very, very nasty for us to get through. But fingers crossed, with the temper armors and strength of giants, we have the massive numbers that we need to break through their lines. Indeed we do. We've just got this demon left, we've killed him. And that's that. We've routed the forces of Abyssia. There is a fire elemental out as well. It's dissipated, no more commanders to keep it alive. And just like that, the battle is won. Not an easy battle. Pretty costly battle, as you can see. We lost 53 of our infantry of On. We didn't really have any way of giving them any fire resistance, unfortunately. Or at the very least, I forgot to script anything to give them fire resistance, so a lot of them probably died to just the lava warriors. It's a shame. Seems like a fair few of them died to friendly fire as well, but we can see that our master smiths and our priest-smiths both did really, really well in killing a bunch of the Abyssians too. So overall, cannot complain. And there was a battle in the fortress of Bethine. So here we are, our troops are out in front of the gate. Huge archer fire battle going on. So these guys up here on the wall actually count as if they have a shield in front of them, which I believe has protection 30. It might be less for palisades actually, but basically we get a massive bonus to their chance of not getting killed by ranged weapons just while they're up on top of this palisade wall. We have flaming fires. We missed that first one, unfortunately. Fortunately, it didn't hit our own troops. That could have been quite bad. Another one that has unfortunately missed. Not the highest precision. Also as well, we are fighting technically at night. You can see here our precision is down to 8 because we're in darkness thanks to Throne of Night. We're spoiling my plan, so our archers aren't that great. That looked like a better one. That could have hit a few guys up there. Either way, there's not enough troops here to really hold back our forces. You can see even here with our small number of troops, we're getting clogged up on this gate entrance. But we've managed to take the day, and we've routed their forces. Let's have a little quick look at our casualties. We did lose 29 troops. In the end, we actually lost 2 Black Knights. That's very unfortunate. But even against that force there, we were victorious. We've captured the fortress. We razed the temple. Everything is as it should be. Yep, so the power of the Throne of Night has been unleashed. We can tell we've got a bunch of less tax. Disease is spreading as well. Fantastic. Yeah, love the constant darkness, really helping us. We have breached the fortification to Bandar Log. Our troops in the Wood of Weeping are starving badly. It's these guys here, so hopefully once they get to Bandar Log, we'll have enough supplies with all of our extra little goodie bags of endless wine that they'll be able to be okay. We've managed to reduce the enemy dominion here down to 2. We've breached the fortification. Next episode is going to be a bit of a doozy. We're going to have to actually fight in Bandar Log, see what's happening. We'll get Gunderic to probably have a little scout ahead just to see what's in there before we actually make our battle plan, and remember to actually storm the castle this time rather than letting it play out. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed the extra turn that you got out of it as well. And until next time, take care.